Hey, everybody, it's time again for the Mikey and Al podcast. I'm Mikey.
I'm Al.
And I'm Nick.
What's going on, everybody?
I've heard that Little Birdie might be joining us in a week or two.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're going to save that for the end.
Oh.
That's sort of suspenseful. But you know, one thing I do want to bring up,
a little seed.
which has been at the forefront, I think a lot of people have already covered it, but I think our 2 cents means something as well. This guy, Oliver Anthony, have you heard of what's going on with that? It's like a big movement around this guy.
Okay.
Apparently, you know, he wrote the song Richmond, north of Richmond, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to the song. It really, I mean, it's a great song. I'm not going to lie.
Powerful song.
It's a powerful song.
Moving the nation.
Here's a guy from Virginia. He basically just he's got a Gretsch Dobro.
Uh-huh.
Put together the song, put it on the internet, went viral. And holy shit, did it pop off. I mean, everybody, and it doesn't matter, you know, in what context you're in, they're just loving this song. And it really is a great song, but I'm just wondering, holy shit, what triggered it? I mean, the emotions from the context and the writing of the song, I think is phenomenal. But it's like the movement that he created overnight is just unbelievable.
Sometimes you're the right man for the time and place. Like a friend of mine really loves the song. Like he's like, he looks off and starts going into soliloquies about how passionate he is about it, how true it is, and how much it means to him. And I think it's a pretty good song, you know. But
So you have listened to it. You listened to it again.
Yeah, I have listened to it. Yeah, I can see the appeal, you know.
I can.
And then my friend started saying that it's kind of like Bob Dylan. You know, like when Bob Dylan was writing, you know, the times they are changing or something.
And then you're like, you're not sure. You're
It's
like,
a good song.
Don't go that route.
Yeah.
But I think that people are craving something nowadays. So you know what I mean, he wrote something that's really passionate from the heart.
Yep.
And it really struck a lot of people, including myself. I think it is a great song. But yeah, I can understand that debate over, you know, generational aspects of writing a great song.
Absolutely.
Right? Or one that, you know, to everything turn, right?
Right.
That's one of the biggest songs of the 60s, Turn, right? Is it it's the Birds or?
Birds.
Well, you know what?
Then I think the Turtles had...
Might have been them instead. I don't remember.
They're calling...
Imagine me and you.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
That's the Turtles.
That's the Turtles?
Yeah.
Imagine me and you.
Well, the whole thing is they get the voice of the generation and they hit it right on the head. This guy might have done it.
You know, I think he made it. I think he actually did that. And I think people are craving for a new generational kind of a voice. And this guy wrote a passionate song and he threw it out there and it was basically stripped of anything. There was no, you know, there's no studio behind you. There's no marketing executives. It's just him being raw, being himself.
So it caught fire on its own.
It caught fire on its own.
So it got promotion and blew up viral on its own merit.
Yeah, all he did was put it out there and it just went big. It tells you how much nowadays you don't really need, you know, all the music in terms of the I guess what I'm trying to say is all those executives out there or labels and all that. As a matter of fact, this guy
You just got to have some good material and some heart.
That's it. John Rich. You know, he's a big Nashville guy and whatnot.
Big and rich.
Big and rich. And he seemed, I mean, he's all-American kind of a guy.
Yeah.
You know, he really is. So I watched a couple of interviews with him, and he basically said this guy, you know, he's sort of sparked, I don't want to call it a movement, but he sparked what everybody was feeling. And it just caught fire. And
a lot like Bronson and Death Wish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
You just went, left. I was going right. You're like,
I know,
okay.
That's the beauty of the song.
I
You can
just
go
watched
left.
a documentary on Charles Bronson, and that was his feeling about the movie. I don't feel that way about Death Wish. But go on, sorry, I didn't mean to
No, but you just hit me with. I mean, there was like just a left punch.
Yeah.
You hit Charles Brown. I was talking to Oliver Anthony, but here's this guy. He's probably, I think he's in his early 30s.
Okay.
Doesn't have much, according to him. I mean, he's just a farmer kind of guy. Put together the song.
So he's not selling isotoners yet, or like hey,
not,
get yourself. He's got the nice cooler now. What is that? The Yetis and shit.
Well, that's what John Rich was saying.
I like Yetis.
He's saying that people are not
Coors concert series.
beating down.
Be there.
I know, but
I'm not getting paid shit for this. I'm getting paid in beer,
But
and also
Bud Light.
Krugerrand or something. Fucking crypto coin.
Exactly. But you know what? And from what I understand or what I'm reading is now these labels and these, executives are beating down his fucking door trying to get to him because he's on fire right now. And from what I understand, there was, he had mentioned, I think he put it out himself.
On Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, he got offered, or there was like an $8 million kind of, opportunity for him. And he said no.
Wow, good for him.
I'm like that too. Good for you.
And also, Nashville is controlled by a very small amount of people, like the popular country music scene. So this guy's kind of like bursting that whole bubble, I think, for them. And then I think just all the power hemorrhages, and next thing you know, people are just popping up out of the internet making these great songs. Hopefully.
Oh, well, that I think that probably is going to go that way, which leads you to wonder what's going to happen with these labels and whatnot. But then I also question, okay, this guy, you always have your 10 minutes of fame, unless he writes another song like that, or I don't know. Sometimes when a flame is so hot initially. It can die out.
Yeah, and then everything else pales in comparison.
Right, and I think the guy's very talented.
Honestly, if the guy's well-meaning, right, I think he'll parlay this into some type of movement that's well-meaning enough where I think his, what do you call it, whether or not he's got any integrity, I think it'll carry him through. If it doesn't, he's going to show up on a Budweiser commercial.
Exactly.
Whenever they regain balance,
or a Bud Light commercial.
Because you wonder now. Here's the question: do you cash in? Do you say, you know what? Okay, I got an opportunity. I mean, from what I understand, this guy doesn't have he doesn't have a lot. According to him, he lives on a little farm and got a couple of dogs, and he wrote this song. So when you got somebody throwing $8 million in your face and you say no, do you regret that? Let's say a year or two down the road when because you know how fickle.
But somehow like those people that you just screwed, right, have turned against you, and they've gotten everybody else to turn against you, and now you're a pariah, and you wish you had that $8 million to go live in a cave somewhere.
Either that, or we're just fickle.
I mean, I hope that.
So what is great today?
A little sinister, but it happens.
But it happens all the time. So what is great today? What people are just so in line with today.
Lance Armstrong.
Exactly. Boom. Right. So it could change a year from now, or it could change, 10 months from now. So do you strike when the iron's hot? If he doesn't, I respect it. That's big integrity on his part, because what he's saying is he's doing it because of mental awareness. He had, he was depressed and all that. And I believe him 100%. I believe his story 100%. But when everybody's throwing money at you like that, it's really, really hard to, I'm assuming to hold on to your beliefs, when you're.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't even get offered that much. And I must have lost more
sold out
more than 51% of my beliefs.
I tell you,
I sold my soul for a lot less.
Abandoned all goodness in myself.
The way that it was explained to me by a person who was big in the music industry when he came over to Paul's when I was working there was that they buy these artists that are that become hits, and then they keep them on a shelf until the perfect time to use them. And once the artist is purchased, he never has the rights to that music again unless he gets big enough and then years down the road gets to buy his own music back. But he has no control over when or how or where. He can't even do you can't even do YouTube music because anything that they signed the contract for 12 new songs. And if he makes a song on YouTube, he can't just say that's not part of the 12
they own the
songs.
property.
Yeah.
Yep.
They own the property, they own the person.
Owning the property.
But as this guy's saying it, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be a musician. He never thought he'd get hits, and with the millions of views that he's getting on YouTube, he's getting ad revenue from that. You know, he'll have money from that. Also,
He's gonna have
Kickstarter,
brand new inflatable furniture.
Well,
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
he needs. He's living in a trailer. He said on his Facebook post.
He's going to have a new trailer and a truck. That's for goddamn sure. So
Something about that sounds cliche, though. But then again, there's miles and miles of that.
That's country.
Where is he from?
he's from Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah. He's
north of Richmond.
He's I don't know
All right, yeah.
what part of Virginia. You know, he's I think
West
early
Virginia.
30s.
That's rough.
Yeah. But you know,
the people in West Virginia were like rolling their eyes at the guy.
Flat-
yeah, no,
like,
like, you don't know what
Virginia.
tough is. Fuck you.
Oh,
You know,
they've
so,
had it horrible.
yeah, I know.
people in Georgia.
But
Georgia.
I hope the guy
That's
stays.
that place right there, right next to Virginia.
I think so.
I hope the guy stays independent, stays true to himself, because you know what? I think nowadays in music, a lot of people are creatively able to, you know, with so many different venues, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, if they put something really good together, they can put it out there and they don't need a label.
No.
And I think the labels are scared of shit because they're realizing that too. And I've spoken to people too in the music industry, and they said from a label perspective, you're not really making a lot of money. Where you make a lot of money is you're touring.
Yeah.
You're selling merchandise. I mean, we all...
Tickets
know,
and merchandise. Even the big bands.
yeah. I mean, you and I know of a band in Europe,
Yep.
and I know them very well. I mean, Freibild, and they've already said, I mean, they make their money from you know, predominantly the touring and the sale of merchandise.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this guy, you know, just sticks to his own, but it's hard when everybody's coming at you with that kind of money. I mean, that's tough. You know,
Yeah.
what would you do? Somebody say, you know what, here's an $8 million check. Would you take it?
Oof. I'd love to say no.
Me too, but I'd be like, okay,
Right?
what I gonna do? Sell myself on the streets?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You might have to, though.
Yeah,
And they get pretty rough on you.
yeah.
Yeah, when you're selling yourself on the street.
Well, you know what? If this guy's keeping to his own, God bless him to be able to do that. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think that
I really do.
people are going to use that song. People that are already rich men north of Richmond.
Yeah.
You know, the leaning the far right, because that's where this song is hitting. Is that far right populace with these general conservative ideas. I think the people that are already rich men north of Richmond are going to use it as a blanket of sorts, as you know, to be like, oh, I believe in all these song things. Even people who might have been mentioned in the song as, you know,
Yeah, nobody ever sees himself
Yeah, but
as
you
the
know what?
villain.
and they can turn it.
I
right?
think the guy
In the
stated
story.
though he's not really political. I mean, he's apolitical.
he's not, but the song is.
He's not conservative. He's not Democrat. He's basically stating his.
It's a poor guy
his
who's had
opinion.
it.
Yeah,
I think once you can make Barbie political, you know, children's toy, you can make anything political. And once it's out there to be used and abused and bastardized by everybody, which is the sad part of most art.
Well, you know what? I wonder when we got to that point, because I can remember a time in our lives
Yeah.
when music was not that damn political, right? I mean, it was
At all.
No, it was. I mean, let's say in the
It was,
60s
but
and 70s.
nobody
but then-
listened to musicians.
Right, but I mean, back in the 60s and 70s, we had, you know, the time when it was the Vietnam War, and there was a political backlash, and then you had the Bob Dylans, you had the Creedence Clearwaters, you had everybody coming out with just great songs in terms of, you know, freedom and all that aspect, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And then we went into the 80s and 90s, and then it didn't seem so political, right? Songs are being written about
No.
just everything under the sun, love, and
Yeah.
and you had different groups that were apolitical. Or what are your thoughts on that? Am I
80s, I think,
am I
they
correct or am I
washed
incorrect?
over? 80s was washed over by neon, cocaine, and one-hit wonders.
And
A
Quaaludes.
lot of good stuff to dance to. You know
of
what I
good
mean? A lot of money being made.
Had the
I don't know if that had an impact, but that's what I associate the 80s with. I love the 80s.
a lot of the hair bands, right?
Yep.
Hair metal, whatnot. Yeah, those came into. You had all your Motley Crues, your Poisons,
Yeah.
all these guys just having a great time. You know what? It was just
Rock
balls
starring it
out
out.
hair,
Wow.
women, and
But I'm
and
also
cocaine.
thinking like the uh-huhs, you know, and like Flock of Seagulls, that early mid '80s stuff.
What about-
I like that more these days.
What about Aha?
Back in the day, you know, I like the hair band stuff way more
yeah,
because they
yeah,
were
yeah.
cool dudes, you know.
Well, Aha made a comeback. That one song that they had,
Take on Me.
yeah, Take On Me. That came
85. Yeah.
It is.
pretty hard back.
That's-
Not maybe a year or two ago. My son was listening to that. I was like, I
Really?
was walking by his room. He's listening to
Great song.
Take On Me. I was like, holy shit.
That's my favorite
Take on
80s song.
Me. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that video? I still remember the video.
Great.
The
video.
black and white cartoon.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
walks into
Color.
it's
I
crazy.
forget how they did that. But there's some really cool technology behind that.
It really is.
Especially for an '80s video.
80s video. That's
they were
what
all
blew
shit.
my mind when I was 12
Yeah,
or 11.
They're all
when I
like
first heard that.
staircases, hard lit, with like, you know, guys leaning back and
Yep.
forth.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
The
Wearing
Rick Astley.
suits,
The Rick
you know,
Astley.
long ties. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rick
yeah.
Astley. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that one? Never gonna
Rick
give
Astley
you
had-
up. That one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one's a big one.
But that was just fun times. Those songs were just they didn't really mean much in terms of. I mean, they didn't.
They didn't mean
say
shit.
much. They
Yeah,
didn't
nobody
say
said
shit.
anything political in the '80s.
They didn't.
Yeah,
right?
maybe no, because punk rock from Britain came out in the '70s,
Right.
and that was saying something. I think they were pissed off against the
Gotcha.
government in the
Great,
old ways.
Yep. Yep.
You know, but I don't think we were saying anything here. in
No, I
the
think
'70s.
that tells you that I think things were doing. People were doing okay in the '80s because they didn't have nothing to bitch about.
Well-
No.
So it was just like, you know what, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. They were just having a great time, even in the '90s. You know, and then you had the '90s, and the '90s became more, I don't know, synthesized possibly.
Wasn't it Al Gore though? Al Gore's wife that did the whole against rock and roll thing, and with the reason that we have labeling standards today for
The
songs.
parental
Was that the 80s or not?
I don't know.
'90s.
I think that was NWA who came out, maybe, possibly.
I think they were the first to get the label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mark. Yeah, parental whatever. And you
Was
could-
that
No,
one?
it was the one for
Could have been.
sex.
I'm not really sure.
She was specifically. It was a female
thought it
artist
was
who
Two
made a
Live
song that about sex, about
Oh.
having sex.
Oh,
NWA may have been a big part of that controversy because they were NWA.
Yeah,
but
well,
first
fuck
person
her
to get
anyway.
we should talk
She-
about that at a different point.
Yeah.
though.
that's
Who
when
gives a
the
shit about
'90s
Al
were all
Gore's wife?
'90s were all the songs were all about like, oh, it's all about me and my pain and everything, and it would also be like, oh, sex,
Yeah.
sex,
Bomb,
sex,
bomb.
sex.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you like having sex? Ooh. It's like, oh,
bomb.
God,
It's
enough.
true though.
The
It's
move.
true.
Yeah, one said Fred, you know.
Well, that's
and
what it
a few
was.
of
I mean,
these
the
other
'80s and
bands.
'90s were the. I mean,
People are still having sex.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. You know,
Yeah.
but- and I was like, forget it. I don't want to say.
6.
No,
Well, you know,
say
you
it.
get a chubby at the dances. You know, like the firehouse dances.
Oh,
They're
what's-
playing this music, you're dancing, you know, and you're like, jeez.
Listen, when you
And
can
you're
put,
wondering why you're, you know, aside from, you know,
it's true. When you could put a song out that says "I'm so sexy for my cat" or some
I'm
shit,
so
Yeah.
sexy from my.
remember that?
Yeah.
And that shit goes fucking ballistic. It
Bang.
tells you the integrity of the writing back then. They didn't give a fuck.
They
It was
didn't.
just all
They
about
were
having
just
fun.
smearing you with sex and 90210.
90210. Oh my God,
What's-
that's so funny.
Hey,
That's
Al.
so
Yeah,
true.
man. It was like, you know, really. And then Europe, you know, not to compare or anything, but we're comparing. In Europe, they don't look at sex the same way.
They don't.
They just look at it like it's a part of life,
It's open and free.
right? They just and then here they sell the shit out of it, man. They
sell
make
the
it
shit out of
forbidden. They sell the shit out of it, and they make it really hard to get.
Over there, past 10 o'clock.
At least for me.
It's like the drug trade, man.
Past 10 o'clock over there on TVs, you'll see. It's funny because you'll pop up, and I can remember being at my grandmother's house, my oma, and past 10 o'clock, you'll put on the TV, and then there'll be like there'll be ads coming up on the TV. If you want to have and they'd have all these, girls naked and shit.
For
Like
brothels.
Call us at 344, and it's
You're talking
just
about boobs exposed and everything, right?
everything over
about
there.
that?
I can remember doing
Big
that.
score back in those days,
That
Nick.
1-800 sex line.
I used to go to one of the things that tripped me out is I used to go
There were
to
sex lines, right? Not
they
not
had
hooker
sex-
services,
no,
right?
just sex lines. Over there, sex is looked at completely differently over there. I mean, it's just very much open.
there are hooker services there, though.
Of course.
When I
there's
was there in
brothels.
2016, there was ads on billboards for not
Well, it's-
hookers,
it's-
but for
it's-
women, and it was very obvious what
It's
the.
legal over there.
Yeah.
What is it? Regulated prostitution.
It's
is.
regulated prostitution.
And it
correct.
Or
works.
is there a
over there.
cleaner word for it?
No, that's it.
That's
No,
it,
that's
yeah.
basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, they have
Legal.
to be. They pay taxes on it. They get paid. They have to be checked. I mean, it is what it is, but it's
Yeah.
just a different concept than
It's a
RV over
cultural
here.
thing.
It's the reason
Yeah.
that people get to go to school for free.
It's a reason why people go to Amsterdam all the time, because the red light district is basically just a street, and you walk
too.
down the street.
I went there. I didn't go to. I mean, I walked through and I looked. I browsed. No, but I had a girlfriend.
I did,
And I
Brian.
swear to God, I was being true to the.
But
to
am
my
I right?
girlfriend.
How Amsterdam is? You go down
Yeah.
the streets, and what do the girls do? They're sitting in windows,
They're in windows.
and you know,
It's actually now I'm getting sick. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
When I was a drunk, it was like, oh wow.
Ooh la la.
Oh, but yeah, gosh darn.
yeah. But you know
Kind of-
what? That's what they do,
That's what they do.
and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just technically a different culture.
Different culture.
What we think is taboo over here, they don't think it's taboo, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know who's wrong or right. Who knows?
The shadow knows.
No,
Yeah, I guess
nobody,
so.
I guess.
Yeah,
Well, it depends on which side of the pond you're on.
exactly.
Right?
But I will tell you, Amsterdam was off the hook. Though. I mean, Amsterdam was great.
Did you partake in the cafe or
I did not.
coffee shops?
Coffee shops, yes.
Yeah, with the smoke.
Salty Dog, I believe, is one of the avenues that we went to. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Amsterdam is you got Madame Tussauds, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah.
Just a great time. But Europe in general is just I mean, we've been there many a times together, and
Yeah.
and we've always not. I mean, I don't recall us not having a good time over there.
With
You know what I mean?
hookers?
So, no hookers.
No hookers.
No hookers, but
No.
lovely people.
Just lovely people. So I was also, I think I was looking through Facebook, and I caught upon the old man, Senior. I think it was Joan and Senior. They're out on a boat doing some scuba diving. He looked, I mean, he was all geared up. He looked fit. He looked like he was looking out, you know, in the fucking distance, and Joan was getting her outfit on. But I was like, wow, that's so fucking. I thought that was so cool that he's doing that at this point. But then you had mentioned that he'd already done some scuba diving in the past.
He did. Yeah, Great Barrier Reef.
Really?
Yeah. Over
All right.
in Australia. We went down, right? And I think he made it halfway, and he's claustrophobic. Had a panic attack.
Came back up.
Right back up.
You know what? I can understand that though.
Got the bends.
Really?
Yeah.
How far was he down?
600 feet.
600 feet?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, what the fuck?
He made it, I think, like 30 feet, and he's like, oh, no.
Coming soon, the Meg with Paul Tuttle.
Yeah, so I think it's good he's overcoming that. We went in a shark tank together, too, to feed sharks, but that wasn't, like, really diving. That's like 10, 15 feet down, you know.
Well, you know,
So that's good for him, man. He's getting in there. And then he's that was 15, 16 years ago.
and he's doing it again. Yeah, I think
Gotta be
that's great.
74 now.
Are you kidding me? It's
Yeah.
awesome. How many people were 74 going out there learning how to, or at least revisiting it? Because I've been, I got certified to scuba dive in the Dominican when I went there many
really?
years ago. I never went scuba diving again. It was the worst experience ever.
Why?
Because what you're saying is correct. If he is in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
claustrophobic, you know, it's one thing when you're in a pool and you're down, 2 feet and something goes wrong, you can jump up and you're out of the water and you can breathe. But the further you go down, your mind starts going, what the fuck? I'm 30 feet down, 40 feet down. Something goes down.
It's unnatural.
It's unnatural.
Yeah.
It really is. So for him to be able to do that, or if he did that,
Yeah.
meaning actually went down there, because I only saw the pictures of him on the boat, but I'm assuming they were doing some kind of scuba diving. I think that's excellent, man. I really do.
You mentioned something about going down with sharks, in a cage.
Uh-huh.
I thought that took some balls. Like out in the ocean.
I'd
We went into a tank with them, but in the cage, where the great white's going around.
Yep.
That's too much like Jaws. I think I'd have like
You've
panic
seen
attack.
shit happen when the
I saw a
sharks
video.
go into the cage,
Yep.
They do.
or they go through that,
And they fuck it up like in Jaws.
Exactly.
Really? They get tangled up?
I-
Because
Yeah.
it's only aluminum, right?
I think so.
I just saw a video.
Why don't they improve that cage, by the way?
Exactly.
That's part,
It's the
So
same
a lot
cage
of these
since
end up-
1972.
a lot of these end up being unsanctioned, illegal tourist things where people will be like, hey, you can do the cage diving that such and such is allowing you to do, or you can do my cage diving for a lot less money, and it's a lot less regulated, and the cages are not up to par with what those people are using. I saw a video.
Substandard.
They're in the ocean, and they're pulling the cage up, and a shark's in there thrashing about wildly, and they're just trying to get him out of the cage. And eventually they get the shark out of the cage, and then a couple, probably 30 seconds later, you see the diver emerge from the cage. You know,
It's crazy.
I mean, could you imagine being in there with a shark that's going crazy?
Hell no.
Because it just made its
Not
way
at
into the
all.
cage.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Not at all. And I will tell you, don't ever get scuba certified. Well,
Yeah,
out of the country.
Yeah.
Because I was like on I was in the Dominican. It was like one of those, 6-day resort kind of things. So I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to get certified. I think it was like $300 or whatever. So I pay. They take me in the pool, and I'm swimming around the pool for like, a few hours, and they're trying to show me the mask and all this shit. And then later that day, we go out, and I'm telling you, the guy who was trying to certify us, he was a guy from the UK, drunk as fuck. He was fucked up,
Yeah.
hammered.
Yeah, like tequila drunk.
Oh,
or
just
all
tequila
day
drunk,
beer.
having a great time. He's like, don't worry about a thing. So we go out there, and then we go 50 feet down, and then we have to sit down on our knees at the bottom of the floor. And right now, I'm already, showing the sign to go up because I'm the claustrophobia, which you had mentioned,
Sure.
already kicked in. Then you got to take off your mask and blow it out and put it back in. Once I did that, I sucked some water up.
Oh, geez.
It was the worst experience in the world.
Oh, boy.
And then he got me up finally, and like I'm 50 feet down. I was like, fuck this. I want to beat him like a drum. He was like, don't worry about it, mate. I was like, all right, don't worry about it. It's my life that you're fucking with, not yours.
Yeah.
So I can understand what your father feels in terms of being claustrophobic down there. It's just crazy. How
Yeah.
did you feel, though, when you're in there?
I did it in a pool. A neighbor had some scuba gear. So before I left for the trip, I spent a few hours in the pool.
Okay.
After the experience, I puked.
You did.
Yeah, from being underwater, I was maybe, I don't know. I might have been on something. But by the time I got there, though, when I was ready to go down, I was fine.
You were down.
I made it to the bottom. I was okay. But it is freaky deaky, man.
It is.
You start losing light from the surface, and you're going further down than you've ever gone before. Your ears keep popping. You're looking over at the guy. Okay, yeah.
I never did it again. I want to. I want to overcome that fear, but I mean, it was like from 1 to 100. There was no, let's speed up to 20, 30, 40, and 50. It was just 1 to 100 in terms of what was done in that one day.
Did you see anything down there that you enjoyed that you could take back with you, or you're just paying attention to choking?
I was paying attention. I couldn't see shit. I want to get the fuck up out of there so bad. And then I couldn't handle. You got those flotation things. You gotta pump them up when you're on the water. I forgot to do that, so I sank right fucking down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got to get your buoyancy,
The buoyancy,
proper and
yes.
let out. And
Yes,
then you
bled out and
slowly,
all, yep.
And then you boom, inflate.
I jumped in the water and I had no buoyancy on. I was like, boom, started going right down. I was like, holy shit. And they're like, do your fucking buoyancy, asshole. I was like, okay. So, I don't know.
I think it's scary how if you hold your breath and you make that mistake, and then all of a sudden you die because of a what do you call it coming up, the that air bubble that gets stuck inside of your embolism. Yeah,
embolism or whatever.
Yeah, that's terrifying to me. Yeah. You can die whether you're my age, your age, 12. I mean, it's terrifying.
It amazes me. Like, you see these free divers. Have you ever seen that shit happen? These people who just go down there with one breath and they're down like
2 minutes or something.
2 minutes. They're down like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them.
I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't know it was possible either. But they've trained themselves to a capacity. They can literally go down and free dive to a descent, and they always die. They always fucking die.
Yeah, they wind up dying. It's like base jumpers.
Yes, exactly. Because you
It's not funny at all, Al.
You continue fucking pushing the envelope until It's like
You either
people.
get too comfortable with it, or you have,
Yeah.
and then you have an off day. And when you base jump or you go you're free diving like that, you're
It's
dead.
not even funny, but everybody when you're in something to that effect,
Yeah.
you're going to continue pushing the envelope until you can't do it anymore, because that's basically what it's about. There was a guy also, one of these guys who climbed these.
Oh, is it for competition, or is it for like going to gather clams and shit? You know what I mean? Is it like
Yeah.
something people do for fun, the free diving, or
I think the free diving is more competition
it
related.
is? Oh, okay. So they're dying in competition.
Well, yeah, a lot of them. I mean, they don't
Such a
make
horrible
it back
way
up.
to
It's
go.
horrible.
Oh,
But-
and then your family's on the dock, like, and then nobody can wonder why you went.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he drowned. How'd he drown? Oh, well, it was horrible.
Yeah,
He was trying to hold his breath longer than anybody in human
Yeah.
human
Oh
history.
my God.
it's like
Is
those.
this being unempathetic?
No, but that's like then people like Tom Cruise do it for Hollywood movies and get paid millions.
Yeah, but come
So-
on. Let's not. Okay, I respect what Tom Cruise does 100% because he's actually doing a lot of his own
Stunts.
himself.
And they're not
Tremendous.
dangerous.
Tell me there's
He's
no.
a tremendous star, too.
They're not dangerous though.
Tell me there's not there's not 30-person medical crew around
There
and
is
all that kind of stuff.
I mean, and there is at these competitions too.
Or David Blaine, right? David
just
Blaine, I think, claims to have held his breath for like 17 years.
Yeah, he's still holding it.
While
He's still holding.
levitating.
He's still holding his
his
breath.
dick in his hand.
Yeah, exactly.
His
He always
dick is
weirded me-
levitating, so it's actually just wee.
He went up to 20 once.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, on
20?
on
Really?
live TV or something
I tell you what,
20 minutes?
of air without
Nowhere.
I'll tell you what the craziest shit that I see, and it actually makes me fucking sick, is when I watch and I see these Facebook videos, Mike, and there are these guys who basically are free.
climbers.
They climb these structures free of any kind of harnesses
Yeah.
whatsoever, and they're like literally like the Empire State Building, or even higher.
I know
up.
Yep.
one specific guy you're talking about. He's gone viral. He's a guy named Harold Lloyd.
One just died. I can't remember.
Yeah,
his
they
name.
die all the time.
Look
That's
up
the issue.
Harold Lloyd, safety last.
Jeez.
That's
Tell
funny.
me you're
That's
not
just-
gonna
that's
push-
terrible.
It's 100 years ago.
Oh,
That was the
that's
guy
great.
who made a movie doing it.
Really?
About 100 years ago, yeah.
Really funny.
Funny.
Yeah, but then the stunts that they did back in Buster Keaton's time, the car falling apart underneath him, that was
Yeah.
a real thing. They designed the car in such a way that it would fall apart, or him catching onto a train.
Still dangerous.
These are real stunts. These are things they actually did. Him diving through a window and into like a circle that has women's clothing, and he dives into it, and all of a sudden he's dressed like a woman to get away from people.
Yeah.
It's great. These are great.
You know,
These are
they
real
based a
stunts.
lot of Looney Tunes on those guys.
Yeah, because these stunts were ridiculous.
Yeah.
I looked up one time.
But
I
they
don't-
did them. It's
They did
amazing.
those,
Or,
yeah.
or
That was
Buster
great.
had like, a 3,000-pound piece of, set, which is like the front of a building,
Yeah.
fall down, and just the window opening he was lined up on.
Right.
So it had to be like perfect so it didn't crush and kill him.
Really?
Yeah,
just
the
a window
facade
fall.
of an entire house fell on him, and he was literally standing there.
You know,
That's balls.
I looked up the first, because I used to wonder about parachutes, how that shit developed, and the first guy who was trying to develop that, and I think it was a guy from Paris, and it's still on YouTube. You could see it, and there was a whole crowd of spectacle that got together, and this guy jumped off. I think it was in France, and he had these. It looked like wings, and it was made of wood, and then you had the canvas, and there's like a whole congregation of people, and he's like on this big tower, and he's making his debut because he thought he was going.
He's like ripping off a Da Vinci.
Yeah, he thought he was going to sail down and float, and it's the worst fucking thing in the world to see because he literally jumps off
Falls.
and nosedives right in the fucking right in the ground in front of thousands of people, and he's dead. And I'm like, holy shit, you didn't get that one right.
No, there's a
You
bunch
just-
of-
you miscalculated that one.
Instead of a big celebration.
Oh my god,
There's
it was
videos
the worst
of people
thing in
just
the world.
falling and dying online, and these are just way too common. I think the only way to get rid of that is to stop giving these people views. And the second you see somebody hanging over a cliff or anything, just swipe past it.
Yeah, well, nobody's going to do that because
Just like it.
It's just like anything else. You drive by a car wreck, you cannot
Yeah, you can't
Not
look
look.
away.
stop to not see it, or at
Generally, we
least see
drive
what's
to the
going
car.
on. It's that curiosity factor. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is. I don't disagree
grabs
with
the
you.
eye
I think it's
regardless.
fucking
The morbidity,
disgusting.
yeah. You want to see
Yeah.
if somebody died. You don't
Yeah.
really want to see somebody dead, but you want to see.
It's like the new public hanging.
It is.
That used to be
That used to be
entertainment,
huge.
right?
Back in what? The 1970 was the last official public hanging?
Really?
Or the last official execution using
shit.
the electric chair or a guillotine. The guillotine. Right? The last time they chopped somebody's head was back in the 70s. It wasn't
1970s?
public, though. The last public one was in the 30s or so.
Okay.
In America, at least.
I was going to say, I
What
thought
are
that
they
shit
doing
goes
in
on.
private? Yeah, what are they doing in private for 40
all
years?
over the world, but not here.
now they do
hopefully.
the
What's
what do you
that?
call it? Now they do the what do you call it? All
Lethal
the
injection.
public executions are still something that happen, I believe, in North Korea, Saudi Arabia, and one other country.
Okay. I thought you meant here.
Here, the last one,
Was-
I don't know, 30s, I think.
So a lot of the comments online, I mean, we've seen a lot of posts. A lot of people, a lot of people listen to the show, and thank everybody for, tuning in.
Thank you for the support, definitely.
Yeah, thank you for the support, 100%. Are interested about, obviously, the OCC cast, some of the main players in the cast, whether it be Evan, and we got Vinny,
Yeah.
Chris, whatnot. But Vinny, one surprise we can let out now, we sort of wanted to hear to that. We reached out, and Vin is kind enough to say, next week he's going to be part of the show. So I'm really excited about that. And if you can,
I'm not going to be on the show if he's on the show.
oh,
No?
you're going to be on the show.
I think he hates me.
He and I had a big falling out.
Did you?
Not yet.
But we'll make
But
sure
it's
to
gonna
have it
happen
on the
here.
show, yeah.
You guys are like brothers, so.
We are. Vinny's a beaut. Vinny, you know what? Vinny remembers a lot of my experience with American Chopper. My experience, I say, is because I was pretty wasted, and he was never too wasted. He'd be like a moderate guy, So he remembers all kinds of things.
He's
so
a
he
great
could probably tell you a ton of embarrassing things about me that I probably, I don't remember anything. Because
there's
every
one
now and again, I'd be
aspect of
like,
that.
remember you were going through that store and you bought like $100 worth of ho-hos and,
Yeah.
you made the burrito in the microwave and it exploded like a bomb burrito when I was drunk, And it's like, let it blow up or nuke down in the microwave and then leave after paying for it.
Oh, my God.
With a, stuff
You know
like
what,
that.
though? I
Just silly
think
things.
he always seemed to be steady. He was always,
Even keel.
even
he was
keel
a rock.
kind of a guy.
I would have walked off a few cliffs without him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it seems also he was Paul's Junior. He was Junior's go-to guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like him and Junior had a just a really, really cool relationship. And that's how it came across, in the show. If that, I'm assuming that holds to life too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, they did. They had really great chemistry as far as. Vin's a really great fabricator. He's an unbelievable mechanic. Like that's
Right.
that's his trade, is being a mechanic. But he could fabricate really well as well. And I think he and Paul knew each other for a long time, and they collaborated quite well for a while.
I wonder. Do you know how they how they actually even crossed paths, or how they even got together? I mean, were they lifelong friends, or did Vin basically come on to OCC as a fabricator at once, or
He
how did that dynamic?
he actually came on to Paul
Okay,
at a club.
he came on to Paul.
That's how he came on.
Come on, you're like he came.
That's what
on
I
to
was
the-
hearing. That's what I
the,
heard, Mike.
show. I'm thinking,
I heard that same exact thing.
No, he and Paul, they were good buddies, man. I don't know if I should tell everybody this, but I'm going to tell everybody this.
You
Back
can't-
when everybody smoked cigarettes, yeah, the two of them used to share hotel rooms before the show did very well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And like I'd be going by their room, they'd be playing video games, like sitting there in their boxers with their shirts off, smoking cigarettes, playing video games, together.
Post
great,
sex.
though.
Yeah, they loved doing that.
There's
I'm
nothing wrong with that.
assuming they were smoking.
No.
Otherwise, both of them non-smokers.
Keep in mind they're both married men with children. Happily.
Now.
Happily. Now, yeah.
I think that's a good thing. You know what? I think that chemistry builds from friendship. So, I mean, if you can trust that person that you're working with and vice versa, because obviously OCC is a dynamic environment. So you got to be really, you got cameras focusing on you. You got everybody, wanting a piece of you, a lot of pressure. So if you have somebody that you can relate to,
Got that Dan Paul Senior breathing down your neck.
You got Senior breathing down your fucking throat.
Get that bike done on time.
I got you. So
but Vin was he was in the thick of it.
I think
really
that's
was.
awesome.
And a real friend at the time.
I came on the tail end of him. I met him, I think, once or twice. I don't know Vin, but I'm looking forward to just having a discussion with him. I think that's great because, I mean, he always just seemed like just a genuine guy.
Yep. He's an honest mechanic.
Yeah.
Owns DiMartino Motorsports.
Automotive and truck repair.
He does something now with you had mentioned, I think he has some coffee venture going on too. And
he's going to bring that on and promote it. He's got like a lower octane, 87 octane, and 110 octane.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
For stronger.
What does that mean? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so everybody.
So one's like kind of espresso, the other one's kind of like coffee.
Is this
shop.
like the amount of caffeine that's within the coffee itself?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's got to teach us.
I think that's awesome.
So he's going to bring some. We're all going to drink it.
Mm-hmm. Fun
Absolutely.
fact.
I'm going to give it a bad review.
Here's a random fun fact.
Do
Caffeine doesn't actually make you energetic. It doesn't give you energy. It deadens the point of your brain that says, I'm tired.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
I don't really
That's
give
how it
a
works.
fuck about that.
So you need taurine.
You need taurine for that.
Switching
the
to
other
taurine.
stuff. The other stuff that's in the C4 energy drinks or the Loco Mocos or whatever they call them.
Well, what's coffee do?
It just inhibits the part of you that says I'm tired. The same way that the pills I take inhibit the part of me
Don't
that say
fuck
kill those
coffee
people.
up for me too. Please don't do it.
No, I
Jesus
want to think that I'm
Christ.
getting some jet fuel.
I mean, now I got to fucking think about coffee. I'm just thinking about coffee as caffeine, coffee beans, and let's leave
Jet
it
fuel.
at that.
For
Yeah,
all I
not
know, this
staving
could
off
be
the
bullshit.
tired.
I read this on the internet, so you know it's true.
Okay. Anyway, let's go back to my boy Vin,
Vinny.
and just very happy that. I mean, I think that's great that he wants to come on and we get a little insight as to what what his view was.
Yeah,
over
because
at
he's
OCC.
definitely got a different take
Of course.
than myself. So, yeah, it might be a little grittier. You might get some dirt out of him.
You know what?
I doubt
Whatever
it,
it may
though.
be. Yeah.
He's a happy man.
Oh yeah.
He's a sweet, happy man. Probably got to get some steaks here or something for him.
Should we? What
He likes to eat really well.
Okay, we'll put out a platter or something like that.
Yeah.
That's actually what we'll do.
Maybe we'll cook with him on the table. Can we do like a hibachi thing here with him while he's here?
That would be great. He's a great cook.
Right? Because he's a good cook.
Oh, really good cook.
Yeah, so if he did like a hibachi on a hot plate, what if we did like two cheapo hot plates next to each
Problem is
other?
that we couldn't talk too much.
Yeah, for a different. Well, no, I mean, yeah,
We could shelve that and have him do
yeah,
something
that's a
like
good
that.
idea for later.
Absolutely.
All
But
right, yeah, that's ambitious.
I think the fans
Stop with
or
the
anybody
ambitions.
who's you know what it could be whoever is watching us. What I'm saying is I think they just
Let me
they
shake that
want to
one
know
out.
the OCC.
That's good. Yeah.
I think they'd probably want to know his perspective on his time with OCC, and I'm sure it's hey, majority of it is positive.
Yeah.
I hated it.
But yeah, I think that's what they're looking for. Just some honest OCC insight.
Bigger dude. So is
I'm
Vin.
6'3",
You're like a wrestler.
270
How tall is he?
Yeah, Vin's 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's just filled out. He used to be like a
You know
skinny
what?
kid.
You
Now
know.
he's,
You know what I remember
now he's
about
like
Vin.
kind of bulky.
I can remember about Vin when you and your when your pops and Junior were going at it.
Yeah.
I'd always see Vin just. He would be right there, sort of in the middle, like he didn't want to be. He wanted to step back.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
like-
Yeah, because
he
he's
would
all
just-
about getting work done, and he sees no sense,
In the
in
cameras.
acting anything like my family, which I always liked
He would
about
just
him.
sit there, and you could tell his eyes are like fucking sitting at maybe, looking at, trying to look left, right, whatever. And he was like, "Oh my god!" It just seemed that way. Maybe I'm mistaken in the way, the context that I was looking at it, but I could see when your pops and Junior were going out, and Vin was just like, "Oh fuck."
I've been in similar shoes actually, where I did carpentry and siding and roofing with a father-son team, small business.
Yeah,
Bobby and Curtis Brown,
right.
great
Bobby and
guys.
Curtis.
Shout out Bobby.
Shout out to Bobby and Curtis, man. And man, they would fucking go haywire on each other. And you just sit there like,
You can't.
what do I do?
You know
Do I
what?
work, not work? No, don't grab any of that. Put that over there. If he fucking tells you anything, tell him to piss off.
great.
Then you go over there. He's like, you know what? Did he say anything to you? And it's like, no. Yeah, and you just go back and forth.
So you just
go get coffee. All
You're,
right.
you're getting
Come
bounced
back,
and
they're
forth,
best
back and
buddies
right.
again. They got their arms around each other.
Like
Get
The
the
Office.
fuck up there and work.
It's like
Oh,
The
I never
Office.
thought about that because that's probably what happened. I'm sure he was getting hit from one side, hit from the other, and then
You just
he's in the
don't-
middle.
yeah, and you got
I'm like,
no-
what the fuck?
yeah, you got
can't
nothing
win.
to say.
Yeah.
You're not even family. You got nothing to say.
Exactly, because
you
you aren't the father, you aren't the son.
No, sir.
You're a great friend.
But you're still getting your cage rattled.
You're still getting your
Yeah,
cage
it's
rattled.
bad
Right.
vibes.
Exactly.
But Bobby and
exactly.
Curtis weren't bad vibes. They were beautiful.
Bobby
I don't
and
want them to
Curtis.
think that. They're beautiful people.
So anyway, I think that
Wrap it up. We're getting the red light.
we're getting the red light. But you know what?
We should have a red light.
I'm
that
looking
flashes.
forward, and I hope everybody else is looking forward. Looking forward to having Vinny on next week, and just love to get some insight from him, and that's going to be great, man.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Oh,
yes.
we are sending the shirts out.
To the people that have won.
Yes, Nick should have sent them out already, but he
That's
fucked
on
up,
me. You're right.
and that's on him, and I'm going to blame him.
It's not
But
true.
It's
but-
not true, but they're going out this week, and thank you guys
I'll
so
take
much
the scapegoat next time.
for tuning in. We're going to have a lot more giveaways, a lot
then
more
it's
going
obvious.
on, and is anything else we got going?
Well, let's just get
What do we
the
got?
get that
Family
out.
Fun Day this Saturday at the Newburgh Algonquin Park.
Is that a thing, or are you making this up?
I'm making this up.
Okay. It's Family Fun Day this Sunday
I'll be
at the
there.
Crack Alley in Newburgh, New York.
Exactly.
I'll be there smoking
Bring
pot
your-
on a
Cracker Barrel is when
on a
they put
park
me in
bench.
a barrel. Okay.
Oh, we're doing a thing with Jet Set. That's on the waterfront in Newburgh.
Right.
Mike and I, we may have a little competition. We do a little
try
little
our-
cooking
our hand in-
competition. Mike and I love cooking, so
Meth.
please, look into that. And also with Vinny, if you guys have any questions that you want answered, or
them in the
anything of that
comments.
nature, please put them in the comments because that's something that we're definitely going to look at. So if there's any questions in terms of the OCC tenure and what his thoughts are on certain aspects, if the questions are appropriate, we would love to ask him them.
Yeah, and don't ask him. I mean, you probably ask him a couple technical questions, but nothing about wiring harnesses. I think he has some kind of PTSD from that.
I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to do the outro since I'm going to get it right first time.
sure.
Thanks for listening to the Mikey Now podcast. My name is Nick. This is Mike. This is Al. Please comment below if you like our videos. Please subscribe to the channel. You can follow us on any social media at Mikey N Al Podcast. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.